We are only 2 months away from Apple's next event, and there's still a lot of open questions about the iPhone 18 Pro and the iPhone Ultra. Specifically, people want to know when Apple's event date will actually take place and when you'll actually be able to order the iPhone 18 Pro and the new foldable iPhone Ultra. And people also want to know exactly how much these products will cost with Apple's new pricing. And I'm here to tell you exactly that, as well as the latest leaks and rumors about these devices, because there's some good news and, well, some bad news. But I'm not gonna waste your time. Let's start with what you mostly came for. You want to know when Apple will hold their September event and when you will be able to pre-order these phones, because it's rumored that the iPhone Ultra is gonna sell out like instantly. So let's go over that. Well, Apple typically holds their event on the second week in September. Now, most rumors are pointing to Tuesday, September 8th as the event date, as Monday is Labor Day and Apple wouldn't hold an event on Labor Day. And then, this would be the event date, but then to be able to pre-order the new iPhones, you would have to wait until that Friday. However, I think these rumors are missing a crucial detail, because that Friday for the orders would be September 11th. And I don't see Apple launching a product on that date, especially because it is the 25th anniversary of 9/11. So I think Apple wants to avoid any sort of negative headlines kind of being insensitive towards that date. So I think they could break tradition and they'll probably either maybe even let you pre-order the day of, or maybe Thursday that week, like a day earlier. But I think the most likely scenario will just be that Apple holds the event next week on Monday, September 14th, and then pre-orders will start on the 18th. And then the actual release date, when you can actually go into the store and pick up an iPhone or when it ships to your house, will be on Friday the 25th, at least for the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max, because we may actually see a staggered release with the iPhone Ultra, and it may be launching a little bit later than you're used to. But you'll have to stick around to find out why the iPhone Ultra may be delayed and what the delayed launch date for that phone will be. Aha! I caught you with my inescapable YouTube retention hack. You thought I was a good guy telling you the event date and the release date right up front in the video and not making you wait, but it turns out I was the villain. Don't press that skip. Don't skip ahead. That's cheating. You gotta watch the whole video, otherwise my retention fails and I'll be jobless, and then I won't be able to afford the iPhone Ultra, and I can't feed my dog. Now that's YouTube retention. They should change my name from Greg's Gadgets to Greg Guru. Greg Guru? Grogu? Now, before we talk about the iPhone Ultra, I just want to give you some updated info on the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max, because we are now getting leaks about the design of this device, and I hope you like them thick, because the iPhone 18 Pro Max is apparently getting thicker and, unfortunately, heavier this year. How much thicker? Well, compared to the 17 Pro Max, it is going to be 0.25 millimeters thicker, which is actually going to make the 18 Pro and Pro Max thicker than an old iPhone 5C was. So Apple is kind of going backwards here with their design for the Pro models, and instead of focusing on making them thinner and lighter, they have been increasing the thickness slowly year over year. And again, it's going to be one of the heaviest iPhones ever, with a weight of 240 grams on the Pro Max model, which matches the stainless steel iPhone 14 Pro Max. That thing was heavy. So basically all that weight savings we got from switching to titanium and then to aluminum, it's been completely eliminated at this point. Now, put your pitchforks away. The extra thickness and weight is for a good reason, and that is to accommodate an even bigger battery, especially on the Pro Max this year. Rumors say it will move up from a 5,080 milliamp hour battery to a 5,500 milliamp hour battery. And combining this bigger battery with the new A20 Pro chip, with the more efficient C2 cellular modem, all around, I think we're going to see some really impressive battery life gains on the iPhone 18 Pro Max. Now, no matter how good they make the battery life on your iPhone 18 Pro, you're still gonna need to charge it. And you know by now that iPhones do not come with a charging brick in the box, which is why you should check out the Ugreen Nexode Air. First of all, look at the size of this thing. This is almost the same size as Apple's old 5-watt power brick, but unlike that charger, This delivers 65 watts of fast charging power while being 74% smaller than a standard 65-watt charger. This charger is fast enough to charge a MacBook Air to 55% in 30 minutes and an iPhone 17 Pro Max to 68% in the same amount of time, all in this compact, foldable design that come in a bunch of fun different colors. And if you're constantly running out of battery life on the go, you should also check out their MagFlow Power Bank wireless charger. This has a premium, slim, travel-friendly design with a huge 10,000 milliamp hour battery. That is enough to charge an iPhone 17 Pro Max about 2 times, and it magnetically attaches to the back of your iPhone to charge at Qi 2 15-watt speeds. But what's really smart about this wireless charger is it also has a built-in USB-C port that charges at 30 watts. So you can use this power bank on the go to charge other devices. For example, you can charge your AirPods and your iPhone at the same time. And yes, this USB-C port on the bottom can also be used for an additional charger. So you can connect up to 3 devices. This is so smart, and it makes a wireless MagSafe charger even more versatile. To pick up either of these devices, check out the link in the description to get a discount. And thank you to Ugreen for sponsoring this video. But that is what I want to tell you. There's a few other updates with the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max, stuff you probably already heard about, but this year, the main updates to this phone are going to be better camera and better battery life, which are a solid upgrade over the 17 Pro, but also not game-changing when it's mostly having the same design. So don't rush out to upgrade to this phone if you have a 17 Pro, which is good news when you consider the bad news about this phone: the pricing. Because Apple said to expect price increases, and so far, they have not increased the price of the iPhone 17 lineup, but they are saving that shock factor for September. And this is gonna shock a lot of people because the iPhone 18 Pro is rumored to get a big price bump, moving from $1,100 to $1,300 for the regular size version. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is going to be even worse. It too is rumored to receive a $200 price jump, now moving from $1,200 in the lineup to a starting price of $1,400. That's without any storage bumps like Apple used to do in the past to help offset some of these price increases. So yes, while you may want to wait for the newest iPhones, I also wouldn't blame you for deciding to buy an iPhone 17 or iPhone 17 Pro right now. And that is advice I usually do not give this late into the year, because usually you just have to wait a few months to September to get a better phone at the same price point. But this year, you're gonna be paying a lot more for that upgrade, and some of the updates might not be that exciting for you. Of course, the iPhone 18 Pro will look like a deal next to the other smartphone that Apple is announcing at this event. You know the one, the long-rumored foldable iPhone, the iPhone Ultra, the iPhone Ultra. Now, I don't want to bore you to death with all the details. You probably heard from like other videos like 100 times at this point. So I just want to talk about the latest rumors about this foldable phone and the price point, and of course, that later release date. Because you may have a lot of time to decide if you want to actually pony up the money for this phone. Now, since I last talked about the iPhone Ultra, we've seen what looks like accurate dummy units of the final design floating around. These are about as good of a look as we are going to get at the design and dimensions of the iPhone Ultra until Apple officially announces it. And we've also now heard leaks about the exact battery size in Apple's first foldable iPhone. According to leaks on Weibo, the iPhone Ultra will use 2 batteries, one on each side of the foldable. One is rated for 9,021 milliamp hours, and the other is rated for 2,962 milliamp hours. Put that together and you get a total battery life rating of, let me just do some math real quick. Oh, okay. 4,883 milliamp hours. And honestly, that's a little disappointing, because when we first heard about the iPhone Ultra, one of the rumors was that it was gonna have the biggest battery capacity out of any of the new iPhone models. However, the iPhone Ultra is gonna have about 700 milliamp hours less than the rumored iPhone 18 Pro. I'm really good at math. I could do it off the top of my head anytime. And it even has less total capacity than the current iPhone 17 Pro Max. Now, battery life for this phone could still be pretty good, but that will entirely depend on how you use it. Because if you end up using the smaller front display, that will probably net you a lot of battery life, maybe even more than the iPhone 18 Pro Max with a smaller battery, because the smaller screen will use less energy than a bigger screen. However, if you unfold the device a lot, that's gonna work against you, because now you're using that bigger 7.8-inch display. That's gonna use more battery. So overall, I think the iPhone Ultra will probably have a battery life rating that is in between the iPhone 18 Pro and the Pro Max, but I don't think it will be the battery life champion this year. That title is gonna continue to go to the iPhone 18 Pro Max, the undisputed champ of battery. Now, the pricing for the Ultra, it's gonna be scary. It's gonna be interesting, but it's also gonna be scary. We knew from the start that this phone was gonna be expensive, right? Early rumors suggested that the lowest starting price would be around $2,000. However, with the latest price increase from Apple, those estimates have shot up. With the lower end prediction, this is the lower end prediction, folks, $2,300. And the higher end prediction saying Apple may price the base model at, oh boy, I don't want to say it, $2,500. Now, no matter how you look at this, it's gonna be an expensive phone, but you're gonna have some time to decide if you actually wanna put all that money down on an iPhone Ultra, because while Apple is currently manufacturing the Ultra, the yields aren't that high. So they don't actually have a large amount of these phones available for the launch. And when all is said and done, Apple is only expecting to make about 10 million units for the iPhone Ultra. When Apple ships about 240 million iPhones a year, that is not a lot. Now, according to Apple analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, he thinks that Apple will show off this phone at the September event. I think that's all but a given at this point. But just like they did with the iPhone X, Apple will delay the launch of this phone until later in October. In fact, pre-orders could begin in late October, with the first shipments of this phone not arriving until the first week of November, exactly mimicking the release for the iPhone X. If that rumor is true, it would most likely mean a pre-order date on Friday, October 30th, with the iPhone Ultra shipping to customers on Friday, November 6th. Even with the later ship date and with this extra time, the iPhone Ultra is still expected to be in extremely short supply, and the phone is expected to sell out within minutes of it being up on Apple's website, with a large number of Ultra phones being back-ordered until next year. So if you want an iPhone Ultra, you're gonna see it at the event, you're gonna have time to decide if you wanna buy it, but if you do decide you want this phone, you gotta pre-order as soon as it goes up on the website. There is going to be a lot of competition for this phone because it is the first foldable phone from Apple. There is naturally going to be a lot of interest around this phone. But that is all the information you need about the iPhone 18 Pro, Pro Max, and the iPhone Ultra, when the event date will be, when the release date will be, and what the pricing will be on these phones. It's gonna be a very expensive year for me. I'm gonna need all your support. So please show your support by liking this video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.